Wake up, because today I'm about to reveal something very few people on this planet truly understand. A spiritual secret so simple, yet so powerful, that once you apply it the moment your eyes open, the frequency of your entire day changes. And with time, the direction of your whole life begins to shift. For years, the greatest students of the mind, of deep prayer, of universal law, observed a pattern no one could explain. People who prospered with the least resistance all shared one hidden habit, one action rooted in a single word spoken the moment they woke up. A word that didn't beg, a word that didn't plead, a word that didn't come from fear or lack. It came from recognition, from identity, from spiritual authority. And here's what will shock you. This word wasn't discovered in some modern motivation book. It wasn't trending on social media. It was buried inside the most ancient teachings, hidden inside the deepest message Jesus ever gave when he said, "As your faith is, so shall it be done unto you." But no one saw it. No one understood the depth behind that statement. No one realized what he was truly pointing at. Today you will, because when you speak this word in the very first second of your morning, before your mind remembers your problems, before your ego wakes up, before your worries take shape, your soul aligns, your mind calibrates, your energy shifts, and your entire life begins to respond to a completely different frequency. But first, I need to ask you something. What's the first thing you say when you open your eyes? A tired sigh? A complaint? A thought of lack? A worry about a debt? A whisper of another day? You don't even realize it. But that very first word is programming your destiny. Most people don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because they start every morning repeating the same vibration they carried yesterday. They wake up tired, afraid, overwhelmed, defeated, and the world mirrors that right back to them. Have you ever woken up and felt a weight on your chest? That moment when a problem comes back to your mind like a punch? When you feel like the day already beat you before you even stood up? That is the real poverty. Not the lack of money, but the lack of hope the moment you open your eyes. Let me tell you something powerful. Your soul was not created for survival. It was created for expansion. Your spirit was not designed for fear. It was designed for creation. But when you wake up and worry, all your spiritual systems contract. Your chest tightens. Your mind closes. Your energy drops. And the opportunities God already placed in your path become invisible. Not because they aren't there, but because your consciousness isn't aligned with them. Jesus said it in the simplest way. The kingdom of God is within you, not in the economy, not in the circumstance, not in what you have or lack. Within you, the kingdom is a state of consciousness, a frequency, a level of perception. And when you wake up in fear, in scarcity, in exhaustion, you're not entering the kingdom. You're entering the reflection of your doubts. That's why the first word you speak in the morning is so critical. Because that sacred moment between sleep and wakefulness, when the world is quiet, when the past has not yet returned, when the mind is soft and unguarded, that moment is where the spirit is most moldable. That is where destiny begins. Your first word becomes the seed of your entire day. And that seed becomes a root. And that root becomes fruit. Let me ask you something honestly. How many mornings have you handed over to fear without even noticing? How many divine opportunities passed right in front of you while your energy was too low to recognize them? How many times did you whisper, "I can't," before your feet even touched the floor? It's not your fault. No one ever taught us that every morning is a spiritual programming session. No one ever explained that the first thought you speak is not just a thought. It's a command. But today that changes. Today you'll learn how to wake up connected to God, to purpose, to abundance, with a single word that rewires your destiny from within. Before I reveal the word, I need you to understand why it works. Because if you repeat it without understanding the spiritual law behind it, it becomes noise, not power. Most people think their life changes when more money comes in, when a new opportunity appears, when circumstances finally improve. But that is backwards. External things do not create internal states. Internal states create external things. This is a spiritual law as precise and as unbreakable as gravity. Every visible effect begins in the invisible realm, and that invisible realm is your consciousness. The first word you speak becomes the tone of your day. Your frequency becomes your magnet. Your emotional vibration becomes your field of attraction. You wake up, and the universe responds to your vibration before it responds to your words. If your vibration is low, your day follows that path. If your vibration is high, connected, aligned, spiritually awakened, everything shifts. Let me take you deeper. When you are in that thin space between dreaming and waking, your logical mind is still asleep. Your resistance is down. Your ego is quiet. Your subconscious is open. Your spirit is awake. This moment, these first 7 seconds of your day, are the most powerful spiritual window you will ever have. It's like the opening note of a song. It sets the tone for every note that comes after. Think about this. Have you noticed that when you wake up anxious, everything feels heavier? Small problems feel huge. Tiny inconveniences trigger irritation. Creativity shuts down. Solutions become blurry. But when you wake up in peace, in spiritual strength, when you open your eyes, already connected to something higher, your entire day flows differently. You speak differently. You respond differently. You receive differently. Because you don't attract what you want. You attract what you are when you wake up. And most people wake up in the wrong frequency. Abundance does not respond to effort. It responds to vibration. Jesus said, "As your faith is, so shall it be done unto you." He never said, "As your effort is," or "as your fear is," or "as your exhaustion is." He said, "As your faith is." Faith is not a religious feeling. Faith is a vibrational state. People say they want abundance, but they wake up in scarcity. They say they want opportunity, but they open their eyes with doubt. They say they want expansion, but they begin their day in lack. It cannot work. The universe does not respond to intentions. It responds to coherence. And this is why that single word, the word "I will reveal to you," is so powerful, because when spoken the moment you open your eyes, it aligns your consciousness with a level where abundance already exists. Now let me ask you something. If you could install a divine frequency into your soul every morning, would you do it? If you knew the exact vibration where God speaks, where intuition is loud, where abundance flows, would you enter it? What you are about to learn is not a cute phrase. It is not a trend. It is not positive thinking. It is a principle, a law, a spiritual code. And once you understand it, once you practice it with intention, your life can no longer remain the same. But before I continue, take one deep breath with me. Just one. Because your spirit is listening right now. Your heart is open. Your soul is awake. If you're here, listening to this message, it is not a coincidence. Nothing that touches your spirit arrives by accident. It arrives because your soul is ready. Welcome, once again, to Napoleon Inspires, the place where every message reminds you of a forgotten truth, that inside you lives a spiritual power without limits. If these teachings are touching your heart, if you feel something awakening inside you, then I invite you to do something simple but powerful. Leave a like, not for me, but as a signal to the universe. I am ready to receive. Subscribe, because this is not a channel. It is a spiritual training ground. And comment below. I am ready to awaken differently. Every comment is a seed in the spiritual realm. Now, what comes next will take you deeper. Because now I will tell you a story, one that illustrates exactly how this spiritual law works in real life. A story that in many ways might be your own. Daniela's story begins like thousands of silent stories no one ever tells. Stories of people who smile during the day, but collapse inside their own thoughts at night. People who pray not for miracles, but simply for the strength to survive one more dawn. Daniela was one of them. She was a mother of 2 small children, living in a tiny borrowed apartment because she couldn't afford rent on her own. She worked cleaning offices before sunrise, dragging her tired body through empty hallways while the rest of the world slept. 4 hours of sleep, 2 meals a day, endless bills, a heart full of guilt, and a soul that had forgotten how to dream. But the worst part wasn't the lack of money. It was the weight she carried inside her chest every morning. The feeling that she wasn't enough. Not enough time. Not enough energy. Not enough strength. Not enough for her kids. Not enough for God. Not enough for life. One morning, after crying silently so her children wouldn't hear her, Daniela woke up with a sentence that pierced her like a blade. "I can't anymore." That phrase left her lips before her eyes even opened. And in that instant, she felt something inside her dim even more, as if those words had locked her into a destiny she didn't want. But destiny has a strange way of whispering when the soul breaks open. That same day, exhausted and defeated, she stumbled across a video online. A message about the power of the first word you say when you wake up. And for the first time in a long time, something in her spirit moved. Just a spark, a tiny crack in the wall she had built around her heart. She didn't understand it yet, but her breakthrough began in that tiny crack. That night, she didn't sleep better, but she slept differently. She knew something had shifted. She didn't know what, but she felt seen, guided, held. When her alarm rang at 4:15 a.m., her body ached like always. Her worries were still there, but for the first time in years, she refused to speak the phrase that had been killing her mornings. She breathed deeply, held the silence, and whispered something new, not the sacred word you will learn today, but a small beginning, a seed breaking through the soil. Today, I open my life to something new. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't planned, but it was enough, because that single sentence shifted something inside her timeline. 2 days later, she returned to that message. This time, she didn't listen as a victim. She listened as someone who was remembering herself. She learned that the first word you speak each morning isn't a reaction. It's an instruction to your spirit. It isn't accidental. It's creative. It doesn't describe your reality. It shapes it. She began preparing herself for a different kind of awakening. But the real transformation arrived 1 week later, when she finally learned the word you're learning today. A word that doesn't beg, doesn't fear, doesn't doubt. A word that recognizes. A word that activates. The first day she spoke it, she felt almost nothing. The second day, a small piece. The third, something inside her clicked into place. By the seventh day, she remembered something she had buried years ago. Hope. In the second week, life began to respond to her new vibration, not with miracles falling from the sky, but with doors creaking open one by one. A new client, an unexpected opportunity, a friend offering her a small line of work from home, her boss considering her for higher-paying shifts. But the greatest shift wasn't outside her life. It was inside her consciousness. For the first time in years, she stopped waking up on the battlefield. She stopped waking up losing. She stopped waking up afraid. She began waking up aligned. And that alignment is what changes everything. In the third week, something happened she never expected. A major company nearby announced they were hiring. She hesitated at first. The old fear whispered, "Who do you think you are?" But a new voice inside her, a softer, stronger, divine voice, said go. She applied. She interviewed. She trembled. She doubted. But she showed up anyway. And they hired her. A stable salary, health insurance, normal hours, a future she thought was reserved for other people. But here's the truth. Her circumstances didn't change first. Her consciousness did. Her vibration did. Her identity did. This word, the same word you are learning today, opened her field of possibility. It lifted her out of survival mode. It reconnected her to the divine path already prepared for her. Daniela didn't receive a miracle. She became the miracle. And now you're about to do the same. Because now, your soul is ready for the word that does not beg. It remembers. The word that does not ask. It aligns. The word that does not request. It activates. God has never asked you to beg, never asked you to plead, never asked you to fear, shrink, or doubt your worth. All God asks is recognition. Recognition of what He already placed within you. Recognition of what you already are. Recognition of the abundance that exists in the spiritual realm long before it arrives in the physical. And this is why the word works. Because it is spoken not from need, but from identity. The word is blessed, Say it softly inside yourself. Feel it vibrate. Feel it expand. Blessed is not a religious phrase. It is not a cliche. It is a spiritual code, a vibrational command, a declaration of alignment. When you say blessed as your first word of the day, you're not saying, God, give me something. You are saying, God, I recognize what you already placed within me. Blessed means well-spoken, well-created, well-directed. It orders your energy. It lifts your frequency. It ignites your spiritual identity. When you say blessed, your entire being responds. Your field opens. Your path aligns. Your consciousness rises to the level where abundance has always been waiting for you. And now that you know the word, you are ready for the technique, the ritual that has transformed thousands of lives. A ritual that begins not when the day starts, but when you start. Now that the word is alive inside your spirit, you must learn the technique. The sacred ritual that rewires your consciousness from the very first breath of the day. This is not a morning routine. This is not self-help. This is spiritual engineering. This is divine calibration. And when you practice it correctly, your mornings won't just feel different. Your life will move differently because your consciousness won't be creating from fear, but from alignment. Step 1, the exact moment. The ritual begins at the very first instant your eyes open, before your mind remembers your problems, before your responsibilities rush in, before the world has time to pull you back into who you were yesterday. That tiny window, that sacred bridge between sleep and wakefulness, is the most spiritually sensitive moment of your entire day. It is when your spirit listens the loudest. It is when your subconscious is wide open. It is when your ego is quiet. It is when your vibration can be shaped like wet clay. Do not move. Do not reach for your phone. Do not say a single word to anyone. Just breathe. Step 2, 3 slow, deep breaths. The first breath releases exhaustion. The second breath releases fear. The third breath opens your spirit. Feel your chest expand as if your heart is preparing to receive something ancient, a truth you once knew, before life taught you to forget. Step 3, the sacred word. Now whisper gently, blessed. Say it with awareness. Say it with softness. Say it like you are remembering your true name. Let the word echo inside your chest. Let it settle like light descending through your spine. Let it awaken the part of you that never lost its connection to God. Step 4, the full activation formula. When the word has entered you, speak the formula that bends your timeline. Past, present, and future merging into one single frequency. Blessed I am. Blessed I stand. Blessed I will be. Say it slowly. Say intentionally. Say it as if each sentence were unlocking a door you could not open before. Blessed I am. Recognize your divine origin. You were never ordinary. You were born with purpose, designed with intention, held by the same intelligence that created galaxies. Blessed I stand. You anchor yourself in the present, declaring that no matter what you lack, no matter what challenges exist, you are already held, guided, and supported by grace. Blessed I will be. Your future obeys your identity, not your fears. Your path is being prepared. Your blessings are already walking toward you. Step 5, 2 minutes of sacred silence. This is where the awakening begins. Close your eyes. Remain still. Imagine your breath glowing like a warm, golden light. Imagine your heart turning into a sun. Imagine your entire chest expanding with a quiet, holy power. And imagine a gentle current descending from above, a divine warmth, a soft presence, wrapping you slowly like a cloak of abundance. Do not ask for anything. Do not force anything. Just receive, because when you align, what is yours begins to find you. Step 6, the visualization of flow. During those 2 minutes, do not visualize money. Money is just the physical echo of spiritual alignment. Instead, visualize movement, flow, doors opening, opportunities appearing, calls coming in, ideas landing in your mind like sparks, people being guided to you, paths forming where there were none, light filling the places where your fears used to live. Abundance always begins as a sensation, a warm expansion, before it becomes physical. Step 7. Rise with identity. When the 2 minutes end, open your eyes, place your feet on the ground, and before standing, say silently, "Today I walk as someone who knows they are blessed." Your posture changes. Your tone changes. Your intuition sharpens. Your decisions elevate. Your energy becomes magnetic. And when your identity elevates, your reality must follow. But there is something deeper we must address. Because you can repeat the word every morning and still block your abundance without realizing it. Not because you're doing it wrong, but because deep inside you may still be carrying beliefs you never chose. Old wounds, old programs, old lies that contradict your new frequency. There are 3 invisible beliefs that sabotage abundance silently, and almost everyone has at least one. Belief number 1, the abundance is for others, not for me. This comes from childhood wounds, rejections, betrayals, years of being told or shown that you weren't enough. But listen to me, if there is a table of divine abundance, you're not a guest. You are an heir, and an heir does not beg. An heir receives. Belief number 2, scarcity is humility. This one destroys thousands of good souls. People who lower themselves, shrink themselves, restrict themselves, because someone taught them that being small made them righteous. But humility has nothing to do with lack. Humility is purity of heart, not emptiness of pocket. Jesus multiplied. Solomon asked for wisdom, and abundance followed. Every prophet walked in provision. God has never glorified lack. Lack simply means disconnection. You cannot help anyone from your emptiness. You bless others from your fullness. Belief number 3, I have to fix everything alone. This is the heaviest chain. The belief that if you stop carrying the world, everything collapses. That if you don't push harder, nothing moves. That you're the only source of your life. But when you think like this, you block divine intervention. You choke the flow. You close the door to the supernatural. There are things only God can move. Doors only He can open. People only He can send. The word blessed works because it breaks this illusion. It reminds you that you are not walking alone, fighting alone, or rising alone. Every time you say blessed, these old beliefs begin to lose their power. Their voice weakens. Their influence dissolves. And your soul returns to its original frequency. The frequency of someone created for abundance. And now that your mornings are aligned with your identity, now that your first word comes from spirit, you are ready for the accelerator, the practice that multiplies the effect of the ritual. It is called PADL, presence, abundance, direction. It is the ancient practice of writing your blessings before they manifest, not to request them, but to recognize them, because what you recognize materializes. PADL is simple, but its power is enormous. Every morning, right after speaking the word blessed, take a notebook. Not just any notebook, but one that feels sacred to you. A black one, a golden one, a white one. Something that represents a doorway. A container for divine intention. And every morning, write down 3 blessings you want to experience that day. Not wishes, not requests, not "I hope someday." Blessings, written in the present tense, with certainty, with identity, with spiritual authority. Blessed I am with the perfect idea I need today. Blessed I stand in unexpected opportunity opening before me. Blessed I will be with clarity to make the right decision. Never write "I need money." Never write "I hope something works." Never write from scarcity. Write from recognition. Write from abundance. Write from a version of you who already knows God is moving behind the scenes. Because when you write your blessings in advance, something extraordinary happens. Your subconscious aligns. Your energy expands. Your intuition sharpens. And your spiritual perception awakens. Suddenly, you begin to notice doors you didn't see before. People appear. Opportunities flow. Ideas return. The world around you rearranges itself to match the frequency you wrote. At the end of the day, open your notebook. Look at your 3 blessings. Mark a star next to the ones that manifested. Even if only one appeared, you are already entering the right flow. You are already vibrating in divine coherence. And now you are ready for something deeper. a truth that many never hear, a truth reserved for those who are waking up. People like you. Abundance is not a destination. Abundance is not a reward. Abundance is not a prize for the lucky or the chosen. Abundance is a spiritual assignment. It is not only about improving your life. It is about lifting the lives of others. It is not about accumulating. It is about circulating. It is not about becoming rich. It is about becoming a bridge. Jesus taught this in the parable of the talents. The one who multiplied received more. The one who hid what he had lost, even the little he possessed. Why? Because abundance obeys movement. Abundance obeys purpose. Abundance obeys divine intention. God does not prosper you so you can impress others. God prospers you so you can illuminate others. There are people connected to your destiny, souls who will only receive a blessing when you rise into your spiritual identity, people who depend on your awakening without even knowing it. This is why the word blessed is not merely about prosperity. It activates your highest identity. One that understands your life is meant to be a channel, a vessel, a river, not a reservoir. Let me ask you something with honesty. If God placed more in your hands, who would you bless? Your family? Your community? Someone who is living a chapter you've already survived? Someone whose light is flickering and needs the spark that is now igniting in you? Real prosperity is not measured by what you receive, but by how much you can transform. Close your eyes for a moment. Breathe deeply, because what you're about to hear is not motivation. It's not theory. It's not inspiration. It is a spiritual awakening. Tomorrow morning, when your eyes open, your soul will remember something it has been trying to tell you for years. You're not here to suffer. You're not here to survive. You're not here to carry life with fear. You're here to create, to expand, to elevate, to embody divine identity, to walk as a spiritual being having a human experience, not a human being starving for spiritual crumbs. And the first word leaving your lips, the first vibration entering your day, the first seed you plant in the silence of dawn will be blessed. Imagine that moment, the quiet morning, the light slipping softly through your window, your heartbeat slow and steady, your breath calm, your spirit listening, your soul wide awake. And then, your voice, not your human voice, but your spiritual voice, whispering the word that unlocks the gates of abundance. Blessed. Feel how your chest expands, how your energy rises, how peace settles around you like a mantle, how your day begins to rearrange itself in the invisible realm. Because you are not asking, you are remembering, you are aligning, you are activating. Now it is time to seal this teaching, not intellectually, spiritually. If this message touched your soul, if you feel something awakening inside you, if you feel God speaking to you through these words, do two things. First, write in the comments, I receive my divine abundance. This is not for the algorithm. It is a declaration, a key, a spiritual imprint. Second, share this message with someone you love, someone who is losing their fire quietly, someone who needs a reminder that God has not forgotten them, someone whose soul is waiting for a single word to reignite their entire destiny. And if you haven't done it yet, subscribe to Napoleon Inspires. This is not a channel. It is a sanctuary, a temple of consciousness, a space where every morning we awaken your spirit, expand your perception, and lift your vibration into divine alignment. Because you are no longer the same person who pressed play on this message. You are different now. You are awake now. You are aligned now. Now you know who you are. Now you know what you carry. Now you know what you activate. From this moment forward, from this spiritual dawn, blessed you are, blessed you stand, blessed you will forever be, in all things, through all things, for all things.